We want to lean. Am I leaning you? I'm just doing whatever I want.
Yep.
Ooh. Oh shit. So you know area codes at the beginning of numbers?
I'm sorry. What numbers? Like the
Like
Ludacris song?
No.
Okay.
But well, actually, yeah, it's for phone numbers, right? So the area codes in front of numbers. Now I never really gave much thought to this.
Okay.
All right, like I get it. It's just different. You can have the same number, right? Different area codes. I get it. So I have to call California for jury duty.
Yes.
I have to report for jury duty.
That's still a thing.
Yeah, I guess. But I'm calling the Contra Costa County Superior Court.
That's a lot of words.
The courthouse. All right. I am taking this very serious. This is my civic duty.
Of course it is.
All right.
Also, you don't want to do it again, so
Yes.
get it done.
Instead of dialing the area code, I accidentally dial 800. Right. So I go because I thought it was I don't know why.
I don't know why either.
So I call, fully expecting for them to tell me when to report for duty. Instead,
Call the right one. You'll be reporting for duty.
apparently, if you use 800 in front of the Superior Courthouse number, it sends you to a service called Intimate Connections.
That's fucking great.
And they wanted to know if I was a male seeking a female, and so that way they could connect me. Now, I was half tempted to be like, all right, well, I called for jury duty. This is what it is.
Well, for research gathering.
Yes, this is what I have to.
You started.
Yes, but I hung up and tried the right number. But I was just blown away by the fact that you can have a courthouse number and also a phone sex hotline, just difference of three numbers.
Wow. Yeah. One way or another, you're getting fucked. So.
It's true. Welcome to the More Than Meatheads podcast. This is Cheyne.
And Luis.
And you can find us at more_than_meatheads on Instagram. More Than Meatheads on Facebook. We have a YouTube channel. It is More Than Meatheads. And also on the interwebs, morethanmeatheads.com. That means .com. Oh, what are you tapping over there?
Oh, adding just pointing it out that we now have ad space available. For our video content.
We're like the home run wall on a minor league baseball stadium. Like, this is insane. Like, what are we doing? Like, we just, yeah.
But I grew up with that, though, living across the street from a park that had a baseball field. Like, the randomest people would sponsor the Little League team. So there was this, like, Peligro Sports baseball league and like, the randomest delis and whatnot.
Yeah, that's the best. And then what my favorite is that hopefully we get like a little game going where you can run around the track multiple times and like the dot races.
Yeah.
But I mean,
bro,
I like
it could say wash right open 24 hours because I swear by them. They every year, no fail, they give me a coupon.
Yeah,
for being such a good customer.
Hopefully it's going to be like the San Jose Giants Stadium in the Bay Area. They have a churro guy that's world famous. So hopefully we get some churros in here.
I have no shame in being like the NASCAR equivalent of a podcast.
Yeah, that's pretty much where we're at. If you're looking at our channel on YouTube right now, you will notice that we did some remodeling.
Yeah, re-angling. Yeah.
Yes, we did. We always want to out-angle the competition. But it is not a new studio.
It's still the same apartment.
Don't be fooled.
I'm about to renew my lease for another 2 years.
Yeah, but it does have a little bit more professional feel now.
Yeah, it's growing. It's growing. Where our little production's taking its next organic steps. So
yeah, one step.
Looking to make moves.
Are we?
I don't know.
No.
Well, we were playing music before, so
we were.
Yeah.
What did you do this weekend, bud?
I didn't do much of anything. It was just one of those kind of like lackadaisical, just chill weekends. Binged on another season of The Amazing Race. So that's always good. I love that show, dude. It's fun to see. It's like what skill sets benefit the most. I'm not gonna give away the season number, but the contestants that won were 2 females, which was great to see because it's not all the obstacles are about just brute physical strength. And it's also about having some sort of intellect. I know the place where I would fail. The last thing was a memorization of all the cities that you had been to and a certain number at a shipping yard container that corresponded to that number. So if they had been to Copenhagen, and Copenhagen was the 4th city, but you were wearing orange, because that's the team that you were designated as the orange team, you had to remember the number 4. There were 9 of these, and you have to run around an entire shipping yard to do it.
Oh, good Lord.
I'd be like, nope, there go my million.
Yeah, I can't do that.
I would have, I know they said you can't take notes. Like, yeah, what if I tattoo it? That's not a note. I'm going to just like find a rock and scratch it into my skin. I have no retention of memory that way.
No, unless hypochondria and complaining are skill sets that you can use on that show, I would do terrible.
Who would be your ideal partner on one of those types of shows?
You.
Really? Seriously?
No, I don't want to get yelled at on national TV repeatedly.
In Spanish. I don't even know what you're saying.
Probably Guy Fieri.
It's a running competition. It's not a...
Oh, no, we'll be disqualified early. Because I just want him to take me at all good spots to eat.
He'd take you around the world and be like, oh, we got to get Bellinis.
Yeah, for real. Like, I know you said that we were supposed to go to, Portugal, but we're going to go to Flavortown. I was like, okay, cool.
He's like, he's just going to pull you aside. I have more money than this.
Yeah, exactly. It'd be perfect for me. But that does lead us into our topic, kind of. About
make it work.
Motivation. Motivation for our actions that we do take.
It's Monday!
Yes. You had a lackadaisical weekend. That's usually my weekend is I'm listening to multiple podcasts while I'm working, unfortunately. But the good thing about that is I get a lot of different inputs where it starts to make me think about the motivation behind actions, not only just in movement patterns, but also the life actions. Mm-hmm. And I heard...
What do you mean by life actions?
Like why we do what we do. Like why do you stay in certain positions and jobs, and what is your driving factor? And
to either push you or not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I heard one particular quote. I don't think when anybody came up with these quotes like hundreds of years ago, they thought they would ever be on like a Instagram page. But whatever.
They're gonna get quoted by some thought.
Yeah, it was
okay.
For like the next post is diet tea, but
ballerina.
But the quote I heard was fear is the currency of hell.
Ooh.
Yeah, and it hit with...
That's biblical.
It did stick with me a little bit in the fact that taking action as the main driving motivator is going to be fear. Like I better stay in this job because I'm afraid to go out on my own. In that situation I've been in multiple times.
Yeah.
And every time I've made a decision out of fear, it's only gotten worse. So the hell in this case, the downward spiral, it is only going to get worse if you focus on this is going to be the reason why I do this is because I'm afraid. Mm-hmm. And that really stuck with me over the weekend. I've just been mulling that over my head.
And it's interesting. Fear is one of those subjective. How can I describe this? Acquired. Fear is an acquired taste in the sense of we all have it, and it's a matter of what do you do with it. So when you get a sense of fear, do you use that towards something, or do you use it towards not doing anything with it? So you just let it kind of consume you instead.
Yeah, like every big, serious, broad term, we need to break down in sound bites. And so was it the bumper sticker acronym for it is, I think I wrote this down actually, false evidence appearing real.
Yeah.
So I get it. I don't like catchphrases too much, and I don't like acronyms too much. Mm-hmm. You're speaking to a guy that was a product of the DARE program. Remember that?
So, I remember MAD, Mothers Against Drunk Driving.
Wait, what was the one that they didn't like Al Bundy?
Mothers.
It was moms. It was
Just
some.
mom.
Yeah,
Oh no.
What was it?
I think it was moms. Yeah.
Yeah, something like that. With we'll probably get a pullback or pull out on that one, but yeah, something like that. No, the DARE program. My mother actually taught DARE, which was funny to
What
me.
did DARE stand for? What was DARE?
I wrote this down as well. I'm just so prepared today.
Is it drugs against
Drug Abuse Resistance Education for 500.
That's
Alex.
such a lazy acronym. That's such a reach.
Yes, it is, and drug use got way worse because all you did was make little kids aware of drugs.
Yeah.
Like they do what? Okay.
Once they started putting like PG ratings on TV shows, that was my filter.
Yeah, like,
I
I'm
was
not
just
watching
like,
this crap.
It's like, no, this is only PG-13. I'm 7. This is only PG. I'm not watching this soft shit.
Jesus, you're a hard ass demographic.
I was pretty advanced for my age. Yeah.
But with fear, even though the acronym of it is whatever, it is saying that you being afraid of something is more often than not worse. The worry over it is worse than the actual obstacle.
Yeah. We talked about this in the previously about like once you think about what's the worst thing that can happen.
Yeah.
And then you realize that's not going to happen, or what if it did? Now you have it. It's like, all right, what can you do about it?
Yeah, you don't act, with no fear because you don't like wearing Kmart's top brand from '97, which was the No Fear brand, if you remember that guy.
Oh shit! I'm like, what the hell are you talking about?
Top clothing brand, top apparel brand from '97.
The graffiti lettering.
I rocked that so hard too.
I never.
Why not?
Never.
What?
It wasn't in my just like availability. Also, what year was that?
I think '97.
Nice. I was 17. I was barely allowed to dress myself. So yeah, no.
When were you?
Let's just move on.
I kind of want to stay. How old were you when you were?
That's a fun question. I don't remember exactly how old I was when I started picking up my own clothes.
Is that why you take so much time in doing it now?
Yeah. Oh, I'm also a product of being the third, so it was a bunch of hand-me-downs. So I got to wear a lot of stuff that my older brother wore, then my sister wore, then I wore. So that's why I take so much pride in like putting
That's
together
why your
outfits.
socks always match.
Yep, that's why there's always like it's like blue sneakers, blue shirt type of thing, or socks, or go with the theme. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
finding out so much about you. But with the actual topic that we're supposed to get to today, whatever, is fear is, and the reason why I say that is we see that actually a lot with. I want to take the actual literal sense of it. Right, was the fear of movement, right? So if you fear there's going to be pain when you move, I find this with my...
You're referring to actual physical movement.
Yes. Yeah. I find this with my foot, actually. I know that I'm going to have pain sometimes in my foot just from injury that I'm working through. Mm-hmm. And so what I'll do is I'll purposely change my whole gait just so I don't have that in each step.
You compensate, yeah.
And so, like every other compensation that I do... It's not fooling anybody. No,
I can see through your charade.
Yeah. No, so what happens is that it goes that force then goes up the chain to my knee, my ankle, then my knee.
Yeah.
And it overloads and stresses those tendons and ligaments in a way that they're not meant to. So I'll have knee pain, I'll have back pain, I'll have all these different issues, just because
that painful kinetic domino effect starts to take over.
Yeah, just because of the foot. So if I just fix the foot issue. If I'm trying to do that, but if I fix the foot issue, then everything else should clear up, and that's how we train clients. Actually,
Friday night when I was walking out of pressure, I saw Matthew, the Power PT guy, giving you little tidbits of like what to do, and he was showing you stuff that I had never seen before.
Yeah, he was showing me a cool little trick with the band for my foot. That would be what's the best way to describe this for my particular issue?
Specific issue.
Yeah, for my specific, so not general guidelines, but it really worked for me. Is to have a TheraBand on the floor and then press down with my big toe on that TheraBand it's like there's resistance.
Constantly applying pressure.
There's resistance that's it's pulling the whole time.
Yeah.
And then press down on it, and then while I'm pressing down, then do a squat. So I'm going through a full range of motion with my hip and my knee, but then still maintaining tension through the foot.
So that was an interesting little trick there. It's like I just got a brief glance at it. It's like I've never seen that before.
Well, that's why you work with professionals versus professional influencers, right? is that I've seen that before, but there's no specific instructions on where to put the band because people are just like, oh, I just feel this in my butt more. You want a booty pump? No, it's not that. There's an actual intention behind the implementation.
Well, and then also the remedy for fear is information, because it's the description of fear of the false evidence appearing real. It just skirts on the definition of a phobia, and it's an irrational fear. A phobia is just an irrational fear, and if you analyze that, irrational means like it's not founded on facts. So once you educate yourself on something, if you really do learn about it, in theory, you shouldn't be afraid anymore.
What phobias do you have?
Well, I'm not a strong swimmer, and by not strong swimmer, I mean like I float like a stone. So.
Not well.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. That's one way to capsize it. See what I did there?
Nope.
That's a boat term.
Oh. Half starboard. That's all I know.
So even though I'll like put on a life preserver and just jump right into the middle of the ocean, I have a fear of water. In that sense, heights, kinda, sorta, maybe. But once again, you get me on I'll trust whoever works there. If I'm on a bungee cord, I'll be the first one out. Zip line, I'll be the first one out.
But here's the thing with you, is that what phobias do you, and this is not just a you thing, is the environment dictates your phobias. Exactly. From what I've seen. If it's a social gathering and there are people around,
game over. I'm in.
Your pride completely squashes any phobia.
Oh, you put a group of people around me, or a camera, forget it. It's the showman comes out, and like all of a sudden, and that's weird because that's what I tap into. I tap into something else, so as to not be afraid. Yeah. Or Zac Efron. I feel.
You're more of a Zendaya.
Oh, she was on the trapeze. I can see that.
No,
It's a great song.
Please don't look at me and start singing it. By please don't, I mean definitely do. Yeah. But the environment that you're in, the environment that you're in does dictate whether or not these get inhibited or exaggerated.
Mm-hmm.
And case in point, what you're talking about is if I'm in a social environment and a camera's on me, my phobias get worse.
Yeah.
I become more self-conscious.
Yeah, I know that about you. Like if it's more than two people and they start telling you to do something, you're just like, no.
I'm out.
Yup, total shutdown. I've learned that about you. So once I see more than two people opining and telling you something, I'm just like, I'm gonna do him a favor and just like not say anything. Yeah, that's just not the way that he responds.
So what have we learned? I can't be around more than two people at once. So that's why every guest on this podcast will be via Zoom.
Yeah, it's all going to be virtual. It's the way for the future.
Yeah.
But yeah, like, and that's your approach, and that's what happens with you. With me, it's just like, who else? Yeah. It's like, who's looking?
So that's why training and any interaction we have with anyone out there is that even though we're in a one-way conversation with you right now, don't think that we're not hearing you. Because every interaction that we have with listeners, with clients, it builds our Rolodex of psychological profiles that people have and how their environment affects how they deal with fear.
Yeah. For example, I have my heavy set client who, when I first started working with him, would ask me, when is the gym the emptiest? Because he didn't want to be, quote unquote, the fat guy at the gym working out.
Yeah, and normally if you're coming out of, I want you to expand on that, but if you're coming out of trainer school or certification, you're thinking,
okay, I got to showcase.
But not only do I have to show it off, and then the only questions my clients are going to ask me is like, how soon till I can bench 315?
Yeah,
or how, like all these, and so they throw you a curveball of real life.
Yeah.
Where he wants to get into better shape, and one of his major concerns is what's around him, the social atmosphere.
And I totally understand that. You don't have to live something specifically to also understand it.
Yeah, we've all had that first time. Like even when I'm learning a new skill, the anxiety of it takes over a lot of the times.
Well, even as personal trainers, people have this weird expectation of us of like, oh, you should be able to do that. It's like, that's the exact opposite of what I do.
Yeah, I had one person go tell me one time, they're like, don't all trainers have 6-packs?
In the fridge, maybe?
I was like, well, one...
I'll keep mine on my fire escape.
Yeah. It was a random drunk person that asked that question, to be fair. Yeah. But it's a weird thing where it's like, okay, you have this stereotype that you're supposed to fit into. And like we talked about before, it's like, yes, you want to look the part.
Yes.
But at the same time, you want to be your own individual. And you have all these social expectations now, not trainers, I'm saying just people in general.
Yeah.
You have all these people, and this we talk about almost every show about the fact or fiction when it comes to social media. And social media, even though it's a overused term, it really is your social tier system almost.
Platform.
At this point where you have these expectations of, you think that when you go into the gym, everybody's doing backflips and they're glistening, and it just
lifting 225 above their head, and it's just like.
And what it does is it alienates the people that actually need it the most.
Mm-hmm. So it almost also makes it more intimidating for the layman who comes in of just like, I don't want to do that. I can't do that.
Yeah, and there's way more of those people.
Yeah.
Way more.
Yeah. I was having a conversation with our producer the other day, and I was explaining to her about how the way that you work out is not the way that I work out. Because your workouts are so technical in your lifts and everything that you're doing. Mine are a little bit more rudimentary in that sense. So the way that you work out, yes, I could train. We could swap workouts. We could train the way the other one does, but that's just not what we do.
Yeah, and I also cuss at myself a lot.
I do that internally.
It's just I do it out loud, and then I realize I'm doing it, and it just gets very awkward. Come on, fat ass! You're like, what is happening with that guy over there? Yeah, but that's almost, it's strange because as we're getting much more professional, by professional I mean we turn the living room light on. We turn the living room light on now.
The fuck is that?
We have overhead lighting. But as we get more, we're dealing with more businesses and business entities and representatives. Yes, our product can be here. This is like the tramp stamp of advertising. But anyway, but as we're dealing with more businesses, you start to see how out of touch certain people are about who actually matters and what we are all supposed to be trying to do. We're all supposed to be improving. We're all supposed to be that whole more than meatheads thing.
Yeah.
We're all supposed to just be pushing the envelope in any way that we can, not what the social expectation is.
Bringing in a how can I phrase this? In a sincere manner, bringing others up with you as well.
Yeah.
So as opposed to, it's the old how's the old metaphor or whatever. You don't bring yourself up by pushing others down.
Yeah, rising tide raises all ships.
Yeah. So it's like that should be the ideal. That should be the goal.
Yeah, that was the difference in leadership. I actually I heard someone say that about I think it was the difference between, I don't want to misquote it, but I believe it was about Kobe Bryant, in that they were talking about leadership, and they were saying that he brought everyone else up with him, and then there was certain people in the NBA that pushed other people down so that way they could be elevated.
Yeah.
So the end result is the same. They are now, the person themselves are elevated, but that one person who with bad leadership is only elevated because he put others down.
Yeah. And we've spoken about this before also, how some people feel like their version of encouragement is to just challenge other people, and that doesn't necessarily work for everybody.
No, and that's what we're talking about with psychological profiles and how you actually engage with that fear that we're talking about before, where it's, you have this anxiety, you have this fear, you can be in a position to deal with it, and actually, as professionals on our end, we have the opportunity to help someone through that moment.
Yeah.
And assist and allow them to express themselves in a way that they can overcome that. Or you can take that power that person should have had and take it in your hands and completely squash them and make it so that they're forced to use you every time. And unfortunately, that's what we see in this industry a lot. And we're not even, I almost wish I could say we're talking about one or two people here, but that's literally the industry on a whole, where you see this so often where they take advantage of this person that comes in, and wants to know when the gym is empty.
Yeah.
Just so they can get their feet underneath them and actually feel confident. And at the end of the day, that's really what, building competency in physical movement is directly linked towards your confidence everywhere else. And that's why we do what we do. That's why we do what we do.
You even see it in just like regular gait and posture of how someone carries themselves. I've always thought that nonverbal communication says way more than verbal communication, because your words, it may express one thing, but the way that you're actually coming across, that to me is the real message that I'm looking for.
And what's funny is that you could try this yourself. It's with yourself, that nonverbal communication as well. If you go through a movement, and I'm not saying you gotta be, you don't gotta look like the crazy Joker where you're smiling through everything, no matter what. But at a certain point, you gotta realize that I've been to multiple symposiums where they'll say, even if you're like struggling through something, like, hey, let's try and not have the pain face, where you are wincing before the movement even happens. And so you are programming yourself that this is going to be a bad experience.
This is going to suck.
Yeah.
If your first words right before you do something is, this is going to suck, guess what's going to happen? It's going to suck.
Yeah, that's how it works.
Yeah.
But if you can really just make it a point to, you don't have to go into every experience like, this is fabulous.
Yeah.
You don't have to do that.
Can I have that on the loop?
Yeah, I'm sure it will be made. But you don't have to do that. But if you go into an experience and being open to what that experience has to offer you, and this sounds almost like that Matt Bomer third level Reiki healer type thing. But you want to go in.
What's up, Matt?
What's up, Matt? You want to go in and be open to the experience, so that way you can objectively identify what's happening.
Yeah.
If you are already putting some type of prejudice on there, where you have this filter of this is gonna suck, or you're already tightening up mentally, you're gonna tighten up physically.
And also, tonality has something to do with it as well, because there's been many a times where I'm like, oh man, it's gonna suck. Let's do it anyway. And it's like, you just go.
Yeah.
Just go. Because you're still willing and open. It's like, I accept the fact that this is going to embrace the suck. But,
And it's just like anything else where you want to exercise that muscle. So if you...
Pun intended?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. If you want to exercise that muscle of overcoming fear, you start with the little things, right? If I know let's go back to my example of my foot. I know that I can kind of just compensate and get away with it, right? I purposely, every time I'm walking, I'm purposely going into that compensation and addressing that issue with my foot. I'm not walking through like I'm doing like hot coals thing where I'm in pain the whole time. But I'm purposely going through, and over time, because I'm getting blood flow to that area, it gets better.
It gets better. You develop that motor pattern of, this is the way it should be.
Yeah.
And
this is the way.
This is the way. But then that also is a mental approach first, of you have to tell your body. It all starts in your brain of like, this is the message that you send out.
Yeah.
And that's also your disposition. That's also your mood.
Yeah. So it's false. It's false evidence. So that wouldn't be evidence. I don't know why. Who does this? Who writes these things?
I don't know.
False evidence.
False evidence was just, it's like counterintelligence?
Wasn't that a rock movie? Central Intelligence.
That was Central Intelligence.
That was good.
Yeah.
You look sexy as dick. You don't look at another grown man in the eyes and say that.
Yeah.
All right, that's it for the topic of the day. Do we have any pullbacks, pullouts?
No. But if anyone hears anything that we say that you feel should be revised, please DM us.
Yeah, definitely. Let us know, and we will tell you that you're wrong.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So for the topic, we're done. Anything you want to wrap up before we move on to the segment?
No, I'm good.
Okay, good. Current events. So current events, we have the current event that I wanted to get to is kind of wrapping up. There's so many different projections. I don't know when fitness became kind of like the stock market, where you're just projecting things all the time of businesses that
it's a crapshoot. Yeah, it's a gamble.
So the more people that make educated guesses, the more I realize that no one has any idea what's going on.
It's like excellent comparison to the stock market.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so apparently the NASDAQ of fitness now says that the fitness trends for 2021, we go over multiple. Apparently, there's a new top 5 every week. But there was some in, I think, U.S. News that I wanted to address. One was saying that over the pandemic, there's been an increase in frozen fruit and veggie sales over fresh, and how that moving forward will actually probably stay. And there is actually evidence that frozen fruits and vegetables are better for you.
Really?
Well, yeah, because what happens is they pick them when they're ripe, and then they flash freeze them, and they're good to go. And then, having worked in the grocery store, I can tell you. I love how I have to preface that like it's a profession that, like, listen, you wouldn't understand. But when I was stocking shelves, so
did you keep your Trader Joe's uniform?
I
brought that shirt.
Yeah, I mean, I cut the sleeves off, of course. Like, only the hibiscus flower was left, like, whatever.
Nice.
But what happens is that they stocked, right? They get shipped on a truck. Then they get put in the back room. Then from the back room, then they get loaded out, depending on the volume of the store, on the shelves. That's not the most sanitary process, but 2, it's not the best process because you're guessing at what point in time that food is going to be right when it's on the shelf. So that's why, for whatever reason, people still think that they can sell avocados in New York and they're rock hard and then they're good for 45 minutes and then they go bad.
Yeah. Wait for it. Okay, no, you're too late.
It's too late. So if you can find at any point in time a frozen version.
It's also insane how you can find avocados year round. That's not natural.
That's not a thing.
That's not normal.
That's very strange.
It's so weird.
Yeah, but it's more weird that they get me to pay such high prices for something I know that's going to go bad. But if you can find frozen fruits and veggies, those are actually going to be better for you nutritionally, and it's way easier to keep them over time. Obviously, I like the fresh items, but for me, frozen works great because I can mix that in. I know I love Greek yogurt. I throw it in with the yogurt. It cools the yogurt down even more. It's kind of like that froyo texture. I just keep telling myself it's froyo, and hopefully one day
I wonder if that's why people
I'll forget about the M&Ms that are supposed to be there.
You have more stay-at-home people because of everything going on. So they're making themselves more snacks, and these snacks are being comprised of frozen fruits. And full disclosure, I think I'm not a fan of frozen vegetables. I just don't like how they thaw out. But frozen fruit, I would give more of a shot to.
You should.
Like I'd give that more of an opportunity. Like
if you want to be trending, in 2021.
Well, no, I used to freeze bananas and throw that into smoothies, and that was just an easy, just like, oh, this is great.
Yeah, and that's it actually leads into the other trend of 2021, which is people are...
Frozen bananas?
No, not frozen bananas.
Okay.
God.
People staying home, frozen bananas.
People staying home! The kitchen competency. So they're saying that there's a 200% spike on multiple at-home cooking services. HelloFresh, Blue Apron, those types of companies that sponsor a lot of podcasts, so I'm just saying them. Hopefully we'll get an algorithm. But no, so people are cooking more at home, right? Because obviously restaurants, whatever, are closed. It's weird because
I cook so much more at home.
Yeah, and we're in New York too. So New York, there's so many people that don't cook.
Yeah.
But cooking is a great...
I'm gonna throw an eye muscle of how much I roll my eyes at people sitting outside in those non-indoor, outdoor. Like, why do you want your food to get so cold so fast? I get it. You want to support the restaurants.
Yeah.
But takeout is just as good.
You're sitting in a Little League snack shack. That's what that looks like.
It's like there's no way if they have a window open in those indoor outdoors and with that little space heater that you're remotely comfortable.
No, I don't know. I don't know why people sit in horse stables. I don't know.
I don't know why they sit in horse stables just eating cold food. It's just like...
Because they want to be part of the scene, dude. But that's the thing, is that we get exposed to that a lot more here because it's New York.
Yeah.
But most people, they take their own nutrition in their hands, and it's actually, I don't want to say it's at no point in time can you say it's like a positive thing or this like silver lining. But with doing that, you can then prepare your meals ahead of time.
Oh yeah.
And we talked about that with the engineering the environment from the last episode. And I actually be on the lookout. I'll give you an example of doing that on our social media. More underscore meatheads on Instagram. I got so tripped up. But I'll send out a post highlighting last episode and highlighting what I do for that. So you get a little behind the scenes, pull the curtain back.
Yeah, I'm gonna make some ground beef and bone broth later today with some veggies. That's gonna be my meal.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay, so for the last current event for today, I actually wanted to do this live on air. I don't know if we can do this. I don't know. Whatever. It's our show.
I don't know what's happening.
I don't know what's happening either. So I'm going to play for Luis. So we're not going to put the audio on, right? So I'm going to do it away from the
microphone, or you can just lower the volume.
I'm going to lower the volume a little bit. I don't know
what's happening.
I want people to follow along at home if you can. So if you can YouTube for me, because I'm going to plug on YouTube, so that way it's not plagiarizing.
Mm-hmm.
If you go to John Dillerman intro. Now John Dillerman, John, next word is, the last name is Dillermand, intro. This is the intro to a cartoon or a claymation that's in Denmark right now. If I can give you the premise of it, it's about the main character, and apparently Dillerman is a play on the word penis in whatever language you speak in Denmark. I don't
Dutch.
Yeah, okay, Deutsch. So, I'm going to play this for you, and I just want you to maybe comment. You don't even have to comment. Well, we'll see. We'll see.
Should I do like a live play-by-play, like what I'm seeing?
Yes.
Okay. All right, he is hitting play. It is playing. It opens up to a nice little suburban. Oh, wow. What am I seeing here? Why is it... Oh, he used it as a helicopter.
What is he using?
Why is he using his penis as a propeller? He's taming lions with it. Yeah. Oh, look, he attached it to helium balloons. Some lady just shot him out of the air.
And if you were to comment on the length of this...
Oh, that was easily a 20-footer.
Yeah. It's
that's the intro. It's like an Adult Swim cartoon.
Apparently, there's a main character named John Dillerman on a Denmark claymation. Yes, it does look like a Cartoon Network Adult Swim, but we're getting some complaints. They are getting some complaints from children that are watching this because they don't really make the connection between the 8-meter monster that's popping out of his pants. So it's just just showing you what's out there, and we didn't really have that kind of entertainment when I was a child. So how do you feel about that?
I'm more questioning what was your inspiration to show me that.
Well, I mean, to warm you up a little bit. I happened to see it on a news network, and I thought, my first thought was, has Luis seen this?
I appreciate that, but much like when I told you that Markles sent me something via Instagram, and I was just replied, not everything needs to be shared.
It doesn't. If you're using your Dillerman to tame lions, I need to know about it.
Yeah.
So go ahead and send it into the show, and more_meatheads on Instagram, and show Luis how you use your Dillerman.
You're gonna get so much weird shit. I can't wait. It's gonna be great.
That's it.
All right, everyone. Thanks for listening on a Monday. Just remember, we try to keep it fun, functional, and factual, because it's the only F's that we give. Take care. Bye-bye. Don't be assholes. Bye.